choose between your best friend and your fiancé? I stared at him across our living room, still holding the mug I'd just refilled. 3 weeks into living together and he was giving me an ultimatum. You need to choose, he said. His voice was calm, which somehow made it worse. Me or Jordan? Jordan, my best friend since college. The person who'd helped me move into this apartment. That's not fair. Fair? He stepped closer. I see how much time you spend texting, how you light up when Jordan calls. I'm supposed to be your priority now. You are. Then prove it. The mug was burning my palm, but I couldn't move. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. We'd talked about moving in together for months. He'd seemed excited. Now he was standing there like I'd betrayed him somehow. I'm not asking you to never speak again, he said, softer now. Just some distance. Healthy boundaries. That's what couples do. I thought about Jordan finding out. The confusion, the hurt. Okay, he smiled, crossed the room and kissed my forehead. Thank you. This is going to make us stronger. I sent the text that night. Something vague about needing space, about focusing on my relationship. Jordan responded with a string of question marks, then called twice. I let it go to voicemail both times. 2 weeks later, he proposed. Not at a restaurant or on a trip, just in our kitchen on a Tuesday. The ring was simple and I said yes, because saying anything else felt impossible. We set a date 4 months out, started talking about venues, and I told myself the weird feeling in my chest was just cold feet. Then he suggested the Courthouse instead. Why spend all that money? He was scrolling through his phone, barely looking up. We can use it for the honeymoon. Just us, no stress. My mom will want to be there, so we'll tell her after. Make it special, just the two of us first. Isn't that more romantic? I tried calling Jordan that night. Muscle memory. The number didn't connect. I checked my contacts and Jordan's name was gone. So were half the people I knew. What happened to my phone? He looked up from his laptop. What do you mean? My contacts. They're missing. Oh, he set the laptop aside. I cleaned it up for you. You had so many random numbers. Old coworkers, people you haven't talked to in years. I figured you wouldn't mind. He went through my phone. We live together. We don't need secrets. He said it like it was obvious, like I was the one being unreasonable. I stood in the courthouse 3 weeks later wearing a dress I'd bought the day before. No guests, no music, a clerk who looked bored, and a judge who smiled politely while reading vows off a laminated card. He slipped the ring on my finger and kissed me, and I felt nothing except the vague sense that I'd missed an exit somewhere and now the road only went one direction. We walked out into the parking lot as a married couple. He put his arm around me. See, that wasn't so bad. I smiled because I didn't know what else to do. The sun was too bright. My dress felt too tight. He opened the car door for me and I slid into the passenger seat, watching him walk around to the driver's side. Something in my gut twisted hard. He got in, started the engine, and reached over to squeeze my hand. Now we can really start our life together. The honeymoon was 3 days in a cabin 2 hours north. No cell service. He said it was perfect for disconnecting, and I tried to agree. We hiked. We cooked simple meals. He was attentive in a way that felt almost scripted, asking if I was happy every few hours like he needed confirmation. On the drive back, my phone buzzed alive with notifications. He glanced over. Don't check that now. You just got back to the real world. I put it in my lap without looking. Something about his tone made my thumb hover over the power button anyway. When we got home, I opened the door to our apartment and it felt smaller. He carried our bags in and kissed my cheek before heading to the bedroom. I stood in the kitchen, staring at my phone screen. 17 missed calls from my mom. A dozen texts from coworkers. Nothing from Jordan, but I'd expected that. I started typing a response to my mom. Who are you texting? I looked up. He was leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed. Just my mom. She's been trying to reach me. We've been gone 3 days. It can wait. She probably wants to know how the wedding went. So call her tomorrow. Tonight's still ours. I set the phone down. He smiled and walked over, wrapping his arms around me from behind. I'm not trying to be controlling, he said into my hair. I just want to protect what we have. People get in the way if you let them. I nodded because disagreeing felt like lighting a match. The next morning, I woke up to find him scrolling through my phone at the kitchen table. What are you doing? Checking something? He didn't look up. That's my phone, and you're my wife. He set it down, still unlocked. We don't keep things from each other, remember? I crossed the room and picked it up. My email was open. He'd been reading messages from my boss. You went through my work email? I saw a notification. I thought it might be important. So you opened it? Why are you upset? He stood, moving closer. If you have nothing to hide, this shouldn't bother you. It's not about hiding anything. It's about privacy. Privacy. He said it like the word tasted bad. That's what people say when they're keeping secrets. I stared at him. 3 months ago, he'd laughed at my jokes and brought me coffee without asking. Now he was standing in our kitchen, acting like reading my email was a favor. I'm going to take a shower. Fine. He sat back down. But we need to talk about your social media when you're done. I stood under the water longer than I needed to, trying to wash off the feeling that I'd woken up in someone else's life. When I came out, he was waiting on the couch with my phone in his hand again. Sit down. I sat. I've been thinking about this for a while, he said. All these apps, all these people watching everything you do. It's not healthy. What are you talking about? Social media. It's toxic. People comparing themselves, oversharing, getting validation from strangers. He held up my phone. I think we should delete your accounts. We? For both of us, a clean start. You barely use social media. Exactly. And look how much better off I am. He leaned forward. I'm not saying you can't talk to people. I'm saying you don't need to broadcast your life online. It invites drama. I thought about the photos I'd posted over the years. My mom commenting on everything. Friends tagging me in memories. Jordan's birthday posts. I don't want to delete everything. Why not? Because it's my life. My photos, my connections. Your connections. He set the phone down between us. The same people you haven't talked to in weeks? The ones who didn't even know we got married? That's because you wanted it private. And I was right. Look how peaceful things have been. He picked up the phone again. This is for us. For our marriage. Don't you want that? The way he said it made saying no feel like failing a test. Can I think about it? Of course. He handed me the phone. I'm not forcing anything. I just want you to consider what's really important. I went into the bedroom and opened my social media. My last post was from 2 months months ago. A photo of coffee and a book. 37 comments. I scrolled through them. Friends I hadn't responded to. Plans I'd ignored. My mom asking if I was okay. I started typing a reply. The door opened. He walked in and sat on the edge of the bed, responding to people. I thought we agreed to think about it. You said I could think about it. I'm still thinking. He watched me type for a long moment, then reached over and took the phone from my hands. Let me help you. Give it back. Just trust me. This is better. He stood, holding it out of reach. I'll set up a new contact list. Just family and close friends. People who actually matter. I can do that myself. But you won't. You'll keep putting it off and nothing will change. He was already walking toward the door. I'm doing this because I love you. I followed him into the living room. He sat down at his laptop, my phone beside him, and started typing. Cleaning things up, deactivating accounts, removing people who don't need access to your life. Stop. He kept typing. I said stop. Just let me finish. I grabbed for the phone. He held it away, still focused on the screen. You're being irrational. It's my phone. And I'm your husband. He set the phone down, finally looking at me. Why are you fighting this so hard? What are you afraid of losing? I opened my mouth and nothing came out. He waited, eyebrows raised like he'd just proven something. That's what I thought. He turned back to the laptop. Give me 10 minutes. I stood there, frozen, watching him delete pieces of my life like they were junk mail. When he finally handed the phone back, the screen was nearly empty. No apps, no messages, a contact list with 5 names. There, doesn't that feel lighter? I looked down at the phone. My hand was shaking. I need some air. Where are you going? Just a walk? I'll come with you. I need to be alone for a minute. His jaw tightened. Fine, but don't be long. We're supposed to be enjoying our first week as a married couple. I walked out before he could say anything else. The door clicked shut behind me and I stood in the hallway staring at the elevator. My phone felt like a brick. I turned it over in my hands, half expecting it to vanish completely. The elevator doors opened. I stepped inside and pressed the button for the lobby, watching the floor numbers descend. When I reached the ground floor, I walked outside into air that felt too thin. I had no one to call. 5 contacts, mom, his brother, my boss, him. I opened the browser and typed Jordan's name into the search bar. Her profile came up, but I couldn't message her. The app was gone. I tried logging in through the browser, but the password didn't work. He'd changed it. The light turned green. I crossed the street and kept walking until my feet hurt, then turned around and went home. He was cooking dinner when I got back. Pasta, garlic bread in the oven. He smiled when I walked in. Feel better? Yeah, good. I was worried. He stirred the sauce. I know that was a lot. Change is hard. I set my phone on the counter. He glanced at it, then back at the stove. You hungry? Not really. You should eat something. You've barely had anything today. I sat down at the table. He plated the food and brought it over, sitting across from me with his hands folded like we were about to say grace. I love you, he said. I hope you know that. I know. Everything I do is because I want us to be happy. I want to protect what we have. I picked up my fork. The pasta tasted like nothing. That night, I woke up to the sound of his phone buzzing. He was asleep beside me, arm draped over my waist. The screen lit up on the nightstand. A notification. I couldn't see what it said, but the light stayed on for a few seconds before fading. I lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to him breathe. The next morning, I tried to log into my email on his laptop while he was in the shower. The password had been changed. I tried again, slower this time, making sure I typed it right. Invalid. I heard the water shut off. I closed the laptop and walked into the kitchen, pouring coffee I didn't want. He came out dressed for work, smelling like soap and cologne. You're up early. Couldn't sleep. He kissed the top of my head. You'll adjust. It just takes time. After he left, I sat on the couch with my phone, staring at the 5 names in my contact list. I thought about calling my mom, but I didn't know what I'd say. I thought about calling my boss, but that felt insane. I opened the browser again and tried to create a new email account. The page loaded, then froze. I refreshed. Same thing. I tried a different browser. Same result. I checked the Wi-Fi. Full bars. I tried loading a random website. It worked fine. I set the phone down and stared at the wall. That afternoon, I went to check the mail. 3 envelopes, a bill, a flyer, a letter from my mom. I opened it in the hallway. She'd written it by hand, asking if I was okay, saying she missed me, reminding me I could call anytime. I folded it and put it in my pocket. When I got back inside, he was home early, standing in the kitchen with his arms crossed. Where were you? Getting the mail. For 20 minutes? I was reading a letter. From who? I pulled it out and handed it to him. He unfolded it, read it, then set it on the counter. Your mom worries too much. She hasn't heard from me in a week. So call her. I tried yesterday. The call wouldn't go through. He frowned. That's weird. Must be a network issue. It happened 3 times. Did you restart your phone? Then it's probably the carrier. I'll look into it. He opened the fridge and pulled out a beer. How was your day? Fine. Just fine? I didn't do much. You should find a hobby, something to keep you busy. He took a sip. Maybe start reading again. You used to love that. I nodded. He smiled and walked into the living room, turning on the TV like the conversation was over. That night, I tried to message my boss through the browser. The page loaded, but when I hit send, an error message popped up. Connection lost. I tried again. Same thing. I checked the Wi-Fi. Still connected. I closed the browser and set the phone down. He was in the shower. I could hear the water running. I walked into the bedroom and looked at his phone on the nightstand. It was face down, charging. I picked it up. Locked. I tried his birthday. Wrong. I tried mine. Wrong. I set it back down exactly how I'd found it and walked out. The next day, I woke up to find him sitting at the kitchen table with his laptop open and my phone beside it. Morning, he said without looking up. What are you doing? Checking something? I walked over. He was looking at my email, the one I couldn't access. How did you get into that? I reset the password. You were having trouble, remember? I didn't ask you to do that. I was helping. He closed the laptop. You had a bunch of junk mail. I cleaned it out. What else did you delete? Nothing important, just spam. He stood and kissed my forehead. I have to get to work. I'll see you tonight. He left. I sat down and opened the laptop. My email was still logged in. I scrolled through the inbox. Everything from the past 2 weeks was gone. Not in trash. Just gone. I checked the sent folder. Empty. I closed the laptop and sat there staring at the blank screen. That afternoon, I tried to go for a walk. I got to the door and realized I couldn't find my keys. I checked the counter. The bowl by the door. My coat pockets. Nothing. I called out to him. He was in the office, door half closed. Have you seen my keys? No. Where did you leave them? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. He walked out looking around. Did you check your purse? The bedroom? He opened the drawer by the door and pulled them out. They were right here. I stared at him. I checked there. Guess you missed them. He handed them over. Where are you going? going? Just out. Want company? I'm fine. Okay, be safe. He went back into the office and closed the door. I stood there holding the keys, trying to remember if I'd actually checked that drawer. I left anyway, walked the same 4 blocks, bought a coffee I didn't drink, came home. When I got back, he was on the couch scrolling through his phone. How was it? Good. He patted the cushion beside him. Come sit. I sat. He put his arm around me and pulled me close, still scrolling. I was thinking, he said, maybe we should get a dog. A dog? Yeah, something to keep you company during the day. You seem lonely. I'm not lonely. You sure? You've been kind of quiet lately. I didn't answer. He kissed the side of my head and went back to his phone. That night, I couldn't sleep again. I got up and went into the office to find a book. The room smelled like coffee and old paper. His desk was neat, laptop closed, pens lined up in a row. I opened the drawer, folders, receipts, a small notepad tucked under a stack of papers. I pulled it out. The first page had my name at the top. Below it, a list. Times, dates, notes. 7:15 a.m., shower. 7:45 a.m., coffee, checks phone. 8:30 a.m., leaves for walk. I flipped the page. More of the same. What I ate, how long I spent on my phone, who I talked to. I kept flipping. 3 weeks of entries every day, every hour. My hands were shaking. I pulled out my phone and took photos of every page, then put the notepad back exactly where I'd found it. I walked back to the bedroom. He was still asleep, breathing slow and even. I climbed into bed and lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, the weight of the phone in my hand feeling like the only solid thing left in the world. I was in the kitchen when the doorbell rang. I froze. We didn't get visitors. We didn't know anyone here. He'd made sure of that. I walked to the door and looked through the people. Jordan. My chest went tight. I hadn't seen her in months. Hadn't spoken to her since the day he made me choose. She was standing on the porch with her arms crossed, shifting her weight from one foot to the other like she wasn't sure if she should stay. I opened the door. She looked at me. I looked at her. Neither of us said anything for a few seconds. Hi, she said finally. Hi, can I come in? I glanced over my shoulder even though I knew he wasn't home. He wouldn't be back for hours. I stepped aside and let her in. She walked past me into the living room, looking around like she was cataloging everything. The bare walls, the single photo frame on the mantel, the silence. Nice place, she said, but her voice was flat. Thanks. She turned to face me. You look terrible. Thanks for that too. I'm serious. When's the last time you ate? This morning. What did you have? I didn't answer. She sighed and walked into the kitchen, opening cabinets until she found the mugs. She filled the kettle and set it on the stove, moving through my space like she'd been here 100 times. I tried calling, she said. Your number doesn't work. I know. I tried messaging you, no response. So I drove over. Took me 2 hours to find this place. She leaned against the counter. You going to tell me what's going on, or do I have to guess? I sat down at the table. The kettle started to whistle. She poured 2 cups of tea and brought them over, sitting across from me. She didn't drink, just waited. He changed my number, I said. Why? He said it was safer, fresh start. Did you ask him to do that? No. Did he ask you first? I shook my head. She set her mug down. What else? He deleted my contacts, my email, my social media. He said it was temporary, but it's been weeks. And you're just letting him? I didn't let him. I didn't even know until it was done. She stared at me. You're married to him? You can leave. It's not that simple. Why not? Because I don't have anything. No phone that works, no accounts, no one to call. I wrapped my hands around the mug. I don't even have my keys half the time. They just disappear and then show up somewhere I already looked. That's not disappearing. That's him moving them. She leaned back in her chair. How long has this been happening? Since the wedding. That was a month ago. And you didn't think to tell anyone? I couldn't. He's always here. Or if he's not here, he's watching. He keeps a notebook, writes down everything I do. Times, places, what I say. I found it last night. Her face went still. Show me. I can't. It's in his desk. Then take a picture? I already did. I pulled out my phone and opened the photos. She scrolled through them, her jaw tightening with each page. This is insane, she said. You know this isn't normal, right? This isn't marriage. This is prison. She set the phone down. Why didn't you call me? He made me block you. So unblock me. He deleted you. I can't even search for you. The app's gone. Then get it back. I tried. He changed all my passwords. She stood up and started pacing. Okay, we're fixing this. Right now. How? First, we're getting you a new phone. Burner. Something he doesn't know about. Then we're getting you out of here. I can't just leave. Because he'll know. He tracks everything. If I'm gone too long, he'll come looking. So we do it fast. And go where? I don't have any money. He handles all of that. She stopped pacing. Do you have access to the account? No. He logs in. I don't even see the statements. Jesus. She sat back down. Okay, new plan. We get proof. Proof of what? Everything. The notebook. The control. The way he talks to you. We record it. Then we go public. What's that going to do? It's going to make it real. Right now, it's just your word against his. But if people see it, if they hear him, they'll know. And once it's out there, he can't bury it. I stared at her. You want me to record him? Yeah. And then what? Post it somewhere? Exactly. Make a new account. Use your maiden name. Tell your story. Let people see what he's doing. He'll lose his mind. Good. Let him. By the time he figures it out, everyone will already know. I shook my head. That's not going to work. Because he'll find a way to spin it. He always does. He'll say I'm lying or I'm crazy or I'm trying to ruin him. Not if you have proof. Not if it's his voice, his words, his actions. She leaned forward. Look, I'm not saying it's risk-free, but staying here and doing nothing is worse. You know that, right? She reached across the table and took my hand. I'm not leaving you here. You might have to. I pulled my hand back and picked up my mug. The tea was cold. How would I even record him? I asked. Your phone. Just leave it on the counter recording. He won't notice. He notices everything. Then hide it in a drawer behind something. I don't care. Just get him talking. Talking about what? Anything. His rules. The notebook. Why he deleted your contacts. Just let him explain himself and we'll have it. I thought about the way he sat across from me at dinner, hands folded, voice calm, the way he kissed my head and told me he loved me, the way he smiled when he handed me my keys. What if it doesn't sound as bad out out loud, I said. It will. What if people think I'm overreacting? They won't. Trust me. Once they hear him, they'll get it. And then what? I just post it and hope for the best? No, you post it and then you leave. Stay with me for a while. We'll figure out the rest from there. He's not going to just let me go. He won't have a choice, not once everyone knows. I set the mug down. You really think this will work? I think it's the only thing that will. We sat there in silence. The house was too quiet. I could hear the clock ticking in the hallway. When does he get home? She asked. Around 6. She checked her phone. That gives us 3 hours. Let's go through everything. What he's done, what he said, what you need to get on tape. We'll make a list. Then we'll figure out the best way to do it. She pulled a notebook out of her bag and opened it to a blank page. She clicked her pen and looked at me. Start from the beginning, she said. So I did. I told her about the ultimatum, the courthouse wedding, the deleted contacts and the changed passwords, the way my keys disappeared and reappeared, the calls that wouldn't go through, the emails that vanished, the notebook in his desk. She wrote it all down, filling 3 pages in neat, careful handwriting. When I finished, she looked up. Okay, here's what we do. Tonight, leave your phone in the kitchen. Prop it up behind the fruit bowl or something. When he comes home, ask him about the notebook. Just say you found it and you want to know why he's keeping track of you. Let him talk. Don't interrupt. Just let him explain. And if he gets mad, then we'll have that on tape too. Either way, it's evidence. What if he takes my phone? He won't. He thinks he has all the control. He won't expect you to fight back. I'm not fighting back. I'm just recording him. That's fighting back. She closed the notebook. Tomorrow, we'll do the same thing. Get him talking about the passwords, the contacts, whatever. Build a case, then we'll make the video. What video? You explaining everything. Calm, clear, no crying, no yelling, just the facts. Show the notebook photos. Play the recordings. Let people see what's real. And post it where? Everywhere. Make a new profile, use your maiden name, post the video, and tag it properly. It'll spread. What if no one sees it? They will. Trust me. People love the truth when it's this clear. I looked down at my hands. They were shaking again. I don't know if I can do this, I said. You can. I'll help you. She stood up and walked around the table, putting her hand on my shoulder. You're not alone anymore, okay? I nodded. She squeezed my shoulder, then let go. I have to leave before he gets home, but I'll come back tomorrow. Same time. We'll go over the recordings and figure out the next step. Okay. She picked up her bag and walked to the door. I followed her. She stopped on the porch and turned around. One more thing. If anything happens, if he finds out, or if you need to leave fast, you call me. I don't care what time it is. I'll come get you. I don't have your number anymore. She pulled out her phone and typed something, then showed me the screen. Memorize it. I repeated it 3 times in my head until it stuck. Good, she said. Now delete this conversation from your head until tomorrow. Act normal. Don't let him see anything different. I'll try. You'll do it. She hugged me, quick and tight. I'll see you tomorrow. She walked to her car and drove away. I stood on the porch until she turned the corner, then went back inside. The house felt different now. Less like a trap, more like a place I could leave. I went into the kitchen and set my phone behind the fruit bowl, angling it so the camera faced the table. Then I sat down and waited for him to come home. He came home at 6:15. I heard his car in the driveway, the engine cutting off, the door slamming. My phone was already recording behind the fruit bowl. I'd tested the angle twice. It captured the whole table. He walked in through the garage, setting his bag down by the door. He looked tired. He always looked tired lately. Hey, he said. Hey. He kissed my forehead and went to the fridge, pulling out a beer. He twisted the cap off and leaned against the counter. How was your day? He asked. Fine. Quiet. Good. He took a long drink. Anything happen? Not really. He nodded and sat down at the table, right where I needed him. I stayed standing, wiping down the counter even though it was already clean. I found something, I said. He looked up. What? A notebook in your desk. His face didn't change. Okay. It has a lot of information in it. About me. Yeah. Times I leave the house, what I say, who I talk to. He set the beer down. I keep track of things. It helps me stay organized. Organized about what? About us. About making sure everything's running smoothly. Why do you need to write down when I go to the store? Because I like to know where you are. It's not weird. It's just being aware. I turned to face him. It feels weird. That's because you're not used to someone caring this much. He picked up his beer again. Most people don't pay attention. I do. That's a good thing. It doesn't feel good. Maybe not yet, but it will. He smiled. The kind that didn't reach his eyes. You'll see. Once you get used to it, you'll appreciate it. I didn't say anything. He stood up and walked over to me, putting his hand on my shoulder. I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to protect you. From what? From everything. The world's a mess. People are awful. I just want to make sure you're safe. I don't need that much protection. You think you don't, but you do. He kissed my head again. Trust me. He walked out of the kitchen. I heard him go upstairs, the bedroom door closing behind him. I grabbed my phone and stopped the recording. My hands were shaking. I played it back just the last minute and heard his voice clear and steady. It didn't sound as bad as I thought it would. It sounded reasonable, calm, like he was explaining something obvious. I saved the file and hid it in a folder I'd labeled recipes. The next day, Jordan came back at 2. He'd left for work at 7, said he wouldn't be home until late. I had the whole afternoon. She walked in and hugged me, then sat down at the table. Did you get anything? I pulled out my phone and played the recording. She listened without interrupting, her face unreadable. When it finished, she looked at me. That's good. It doesn't sound that bad. It sounds exactly like what it is. He's admitting he tracks you. He's saying it's normal. That's not normal. He made it sound normal. That's the point. That's what manipulation is. Making the insane sound reasonable. She leaned forward. Keep going. Get more. We need him talking about the phone, the passwords, all of it. Over the next 3 days, I recorded him 6 more times. Small moments. Him explaining why he changed my email password, why he deleted my old photos, why he didn't want me talking to the neighbor. Jordan came over every afternoon and listened to the recordings. She took notes, marking the timestamps where his voice got sharper or where he contradicted himself. This one, she said, pointing to a clip from Wednesday. He says he deleted your contacts because they were toxic. But 2 days ago, he said it was for privacy. He's not even keeping his story straight. Does that matter? It matters. It shows he's making it up as he goes. On Friday, she brought her laptop. We sat in the living room and went through everything. The photos of the notebook, the recordings, the list of things he'd taken or changed. Okay, she said. Now we make the video. What do I say? Just tell the truth. Start with the ultimatum, then the wedding, then everything after. Don't yell. Don't cry. Just explain it like you're telling a friend. I am telling a friend. Good. Then pretend I'm not here and talk to the camera. She set up her phone on the coffee table, angling it so the light from the window hit my face. She pressed record and nodded. I looked at the camera. My throat felt tight. My name is Claire Brennan, I said. A few months ago I was engaged. My fiancé gave me an ultimatum. He said I had to cut off my best friend or he'd leave. I chose him. I thought it was what you did when you loved someone. I thought marriage would fix it. I paused. Jordan didn't say anything. We got married at the courthouse. No one was there. He said it was more intimate that way. A week later he changed my phone number. He said it was safer. Then he deleted my contacts, my email, my social media. He said it was temporary. It wasn't. I kept going. I told them about the notebook, the passwords, the keys that disappeared, the way he watched me, the way he made it sound normal. When I finished, Jordan stopped the recording. She played it back, watching the whole thing without speaking. That's it, she said. That's the video. It's too long. It's 4 minutes. That's nothing. She pulled the file onto her laptop. I'm going to clean up the audio and add the notebook photos. Then we'll post it. Where? Everywhere. New account, your maiden name, one post. Let it do the work. What if no one sees it? They will. She worked for an hour, cutting dead air and layering in the photos at the right moments. When she finished, she turned the laptop toward me. Watch it, she said. I did. It didn't sound like me. It sounded calmer, clearer, like someone who knew exactly what had happened and wasn't afraid to say it. Okay, I said. She created the account. Claire Brennan. No profile picture, no bio, just the video. She typed the caption. I'm okay now. She hit post. We sat there staring at the screen. For the first 10 minutes, nothing happened. Then someone liked it. Then someone shared it. Then the comments started. I went through this. Thank you for speaking up. This is terrifying. You're so brave. Jordan refreshed the page. The view count jumped. 100, 300, 1,000. It's spreading, she said. By the time he came home that night, the video had 15,000 views. I didn't tell him. I acted normal, made dinner, asked about his day, smiled when he kissed me. He didn't notice anything different. The next morning, the video had 50,000 views. My phone started buzzing. Messages from people I hadn't spoken to in years. Friends from college. Coworkers from my old job. People I didn't even recognize. I saw your video. Are you safe? Do you need help? Jordan came over and helped me respond. We kept it short. I'm okay. Thank you for reaching out. By Sunday, the video had 200,000 views. News outlets started picking it up. Small blogs first, then bigger ones. Someone wrote an article. Woman exposes husband's controlling behavior in viral video. He still didn't know. Monday morning, he left for work like always. I waited until his car turned the corner, then I packed a bag. Just the essentials. Clothes, documents, the notebook photos. Jordan pulled up 10 minutes later. Ready? She asked. I looked back at the house. The place I'd been trapped in for weeks. It didn't feel like home anymore. It never had. Yeah, I said. I got in the car and we drove away. I stayed at Jordan's place that first night. She made up the couch and brought me blankets, but I didn't sleep. I kept my phone on silent and watched the notifications pile up. The video had crossed 500,000 views. People were tagging friends, sharing it to their stories, writing long comments about their own experiences. Someone started a thread breaking down every manipulation tactic visible in the clips. Another person made a follow-up video explaining why the notebook was evidence of obsessive control. Jordan sat down next to me around midnight. You should see this. She handed me her laptop. Someone had created a support page. They called it Claire's Community. Already had 3,000 members. People posting resources, hotline numbers, legal advice, stories that sounded exactly like mine. I didn't think it would get this big, I said. You told the truth. People recognize the truth. The next morning, my phone started ringing. Unknown numbers. I didn't answer. Jordan screened them. Most were journalists, a few podcast hosts, someone from a morning show. Do you want to talk to any of them? She asked. No. Good. You don't know anyone more than what you already said. I always knew something was off about him. I'm so glad you're out. Call me if you need anything. More messages came through. College friends, people from my old gym, my cousin who I hadn't spoken to in 2 years. They all said the same thing. They'd seen the video. They were glad I was safe. They wanted to help. Jordan made lunch while I responded to as many as I could. My hands were shaking. Not from fear, from relief. These were people I thought I'd lost forever. People he'd convinced me didn't care. And here they were, reaching out, saying they'd been worried the whole time. They noticed, I said. Jordan looked over. What? Everyone. They noticed something was wrong. They just didn't know what to do. Now they do. By Tuesday afternoon, the video had 1 million views. Articles were coming out every few hours. Some focused on the notebook, others on the recordings. One journalist dug into public records and found our marriage license. Confirmed the timeline matched everything I'd said. The comments section had become a place where people shared their own stories. Hundreds of them. Thousands. Some were worse than mine. Some were eerily similar. All of them said the same thing at the end. Thank you for speaking up. Then, around 3, Jordan's phone rang. It was her sister, who worked downtown at a marketing firm. When she came back, she looked stunned. What? I asked. Your video just got sent to him. At work. One of his coworkers saw it and forwarded it to the whole office. My stomach dropped. When? 20 minutes ago. I stared at my phone. No calls, no messages, nothing. Maybe he hasn't seen it yet, I said. He's seen it. An hour later, he called. I didn't answer. He called again, then again. On the 4th try, Jordan grabbed my phone and blocked the number. Don't engage, she said. There's nothing he can say that matters now. But he didn't stop. He tried messaging through old accounts I hadn't deleted yet. Emails I'd forgotten existed. Each one was the same. Variations of, we need to talk, and this is insane, and you're ruining everything. Jordan deleted them as they came in. By Wednesday morning, his name was trending. Not mine. His. Someone had identified him from the marriage license and posted his full name alongside screenshots from the video. The phrase, control isn't love, was attached to every share. His company's page got flooded with comments. People asking if they knew what kind of person they employed. Asking if they condoned that behavior. Demanding a statement. Jordan showed me the page. They're getting destroyed. I didn't want that, I said. You didn't do that. He did. This is just people reacting to what he did. Thursday, the company released a statement. Short, vague. We take these matters seriously and are conducting an internal review. Friday, someone spotted him at a coffee shop across town and posted about it. The comments turned hostile fast. People saying they'd never go there again if he was regular. The shop owner replied saying he wasn't welcome back. Jordan read the exchange out loud. They banned him. From a coffee shop? From everywhere. Look. She scrolled through her feed. Someone saw him at a grocery store and he left without buying anything. Another person said he got kicked out of a gym. He can't go anywhere without someone recognizing him. I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel bad either. I just felt tired. Saturday, I got a message from a number I didn't know. It was short. This is his mom. Please take the video down. You're destroying his life. I stared at it for a long time. Jordan saw my face and took the phone. Don't respond, she said. She thinks I'm the problem. She raised him. Of course she does. But the message stayed in my head. I opened my laptop and looked at the video again. Watched myself explain everything in that calm, clear voice. Saw the notebook photos. Heard the recordings. Nothing I said was a lie. Nothing I showed was exaggerated. It was just the truth. I closed the laptop. Sunday night, Jordan's sister called again. She'd heard from someone who knew someone at his company. He'd been put on leave. Pending investigation. No timeline for when he'd be back. Monday, another article came out. This one interviewed a psychologist who specialized in coercive control. She broke down the video point by point, explaining how each behavior fit a pattern, how the isolation wasn't accidental, how the notebook was a red flag most people didn't know to look for. The article ended with a resource list. Hotlines, shelters, legal aid organizations. It got shared thousands of times. Tuesday, I got a message from someone who said they'd gone to college with him. They said he'd done something similar to an ex-girlfriend back then. Not as extreme, but enough that people noticed. She'd transferred schools halfway through the year and no one knew why. Wednesday, the company made another statement. Longer this time. They'd completed their review. They were parting ways with him effective immediately. They didn't say his name, but everyone knew who they meant. Jordan showed me the statement. He's done. Where's he going to go? I don't know. Not here. Thursday, someone posted a screenshot of a rental listing. It was his apartment. He was moving out. Friday, another post. Someone saw a moving truck outside his building. He was gone by noon. I thought that would be the end of it, that he'd disappear and everything would go quiet. But Saturday night, someone posted a photo from a town 3 hours north. They'd seen him at a gas station, recognized him immediately. The comments started again, people tagging local news outlets, asking if anyone in that area knew where he was staying, saying he shouldn't be able to just start over somewhere else like nothing happened. Sunday, a local reporter in that town wrote a piece. They'd seen the video. They knew he'd moved there. They wanted to make sure the community was aware. Jordan read it to me over breakfast. He can't escape it. I didn't think it would follow him like this. It's not following him. It's the truth. The truth doesn't go away just because you move. Monday, I got a message from a lawyer. She'd seen the video and wanted to offer her services pro bono if I wanted to file for an annulment or restraining order. She said I had more than enough evidence. I met with her Tuesday. She was in her 50s, calm and direct. She listened while I explained everything, took notes, and nodded in all the right places. You have a strong case, she said. For both. How long will it take? Depends on whether he contests it. If he doesn't, a few months. If he does, longer. But given the public attention, I doubt he'll fight it. What if he does? Then we use the recordings, the notebook, the video, everything you have. He won't win. I filed the paperwork Wednesday. Annulment and restraining order. She said we'd hear back within 2 weeks. By Thursday, the video had 5 million views. It wasn't trending anymore, but it was still spreading. People were still finding it, still sharing it, still commenting. Jordan and I sat on her couch that night, scrolling through the messages I'd gotten over the past 2 weeks. Hundreds of people thanking me, sharing their own stories, asking for advice. You helped a lot of people, Jordan said. I just told the truth. That's all it takes sometimes. Friday, I got a notification. Someone had made a donation page, not for me, for a nonprofit that helped people leave abusive relationships. They linked the video in the description and said it was inspired by my story. It had already raised $12,000. I stared at the number. I didn't ask for this. You didn't have to. People want to do something. You gave them a way to help. Saturday, 2 weeks after I'd left, I got a call from the lawyer. The annulment had been approved. He hadn't contested it, hadn't responded at all. What about the restraining order? I asked. Approved. He's not allowed within 500 feet of you. If he violates it, he'll be arrested. I hung up and sat there for a long time. It was over. Legally, officially, completely over. Jordan came home an hour later with takeout. We ate on the couch and didn't talk about him. Didn't talk about the video. Just talked about normal things. Work. Plans for the weekend. A movie she wanted to see. It felt strange. Calm. Like the noise had finally stopped. Sunday, I checked the video one last time. 6 million views. The comments were still coming in. Still supportive. Still full of people saying it had helped them recognize something in their own lives. I closed the app and put my phone down. Monday morning, I woke up and didn't check the notifications. Didn't read the comments. Didn't look at the news articles. I just got up, made coffee, and sat by the window. Jordan came into the living room, still half asleep. You okay? Yeah, I said. I think I am. 2 months later, I signed a lease on a small apartment across town. 1 bedroom, big windows, a kitchen that actually got morning light. Jordan helped me move in, and when we finished unpacking the last box, we sat on the floor and ordered pizza. Feels different, she said. Good different. Yeah, we started the podcast 3 weeks after that. Nothing fancy. Just the two of us talking about what it actually looks like to rebuild after everything falls apart. How friendship isn't just showing up once, it's showing up every time. How you don't realize you've disappeared until someone reminds you who you used to be. The first episode got 200 downloads. The second got 1,000. By the 5th, people were sending messages saying they'd recognized something in their own lives. That they'd called a friend they hadn't spoken to in months. That they'd started asking questions they'd been too afraid to ask. I kept my accounts private now. Posted only what felt real. Photos of the apartment in the afternoon. Coffee on the counter. Jordan laughing at something I said. No explanations. No captions about healing or moving forward. Just life. Small and quiet and mine. One Saturday, someone knocked on my door. I looked through the peephole and saw a delivery driver holding flowers. I opened it, confused. These are for you, he said. I took the card. It was from someone who'd listened to the podcast. Someone who said they'd left. That they were safe now. That they wanted me to know it was possible. I put the flowers on the table and texted Jordan. You should see this. She came over an hour later, saw the card, read it twice. You did that, she said. We did that. She smiled. Yeah, we did.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop your favorite part in the comments. See you in the next one.